A frantic 911 call. A missing baby. A community in panic. But just days later, a stunning twist. The baby's own parents are charged with his murder. What really happened to baby Emmanuel? And why hasn't his body been found? Stay tuned. This case is about to get even darker. Imagine this. It's a quiet Tuesday morning in Yucaipa, California. Parents are dropping off kids at daycare. Commuters are heading to work. Nothing seems unusual. Then, a chilling 911 call comes in. A young mother, 25-year-old Rebecca Haro, frantically tells dispatchers that she's just been attacked in a parking lot while changing her 7-month-old son's diaper. She claims that in the chaos, someone snatched baby Emmanuel and disappeared. Police rush to the scene, sirens wailing. Within hours, an Amber Alert is issued. The entire Inland Empire community is on edge. Flyers with Emmanuel's photo are shared online. Social media explodes with prayers and pleas for his safe return. News crews set up at the parking lot, capturing the yellow police tape and growing crowd. Neighbors describe Emmanuel as a happy baby with big brown eyes. Volunteers start forming search groups. The sheriff's department deploys drones and K-9 units. For a moment, it feels like everyone is united in a single mission to find this baby alive. But behind the scenes, investigators begin to notice something strange. Security camera footage from nearby stores doesn't match the mother's account. No witnesses report seeing a struggle. And there's no sign of the supposed attacker leaving the area. Detectives work around the clock, reviewing evidence, retracing Rebecca's steps, and interviewing family members. Each hour that passes without a trace of Emmanuel deepens the dread. Then, investigators make a chilling realization. The timeline doesn't add up. Evidence suggests that Emmanuel may not have been alive at the time of the alleged abduction. The search for a missing baby is suddenly turning into something far darker. Police are no longer just looking for Emmanuel. They are trying to solve what may now be a murder. Detectives now had a gut feeling that something wasn't right. The first break in the case came from surveillance cameras mounted on nearby businesses. Investigators expected to see Rebecca's version of events. The struggle, the kidnapper fleeing with Emmanuel. But the footage told a very different story. There was no attacker, no suspicious vehicle, no struggle at all. Instead, the video showed Rebecca calmly walking to her car, loading items, and leaving the parking lot. That discovery sent shockwaves through the investigation team. Detectives dug deeper. They pulled phone records, GPS data, and hours of security footage from nearby roads. They interviewed neighbors and family members, carefully piecing together a timeline of the hours before Rebecca called 911. What they uncovered was chilling. According to investigators, there were long gaps of unaccounted time before the alleged abduction report. Witnesses also reported not seeing Emmanuel with his parents earlier that day, raising questions about when he was last seen alive. Then came an even darker revelation. Forensic evidence from the family home suggested that Emmanuel had suffered injuries over a period of time. The parking lot story, authorities concluded, was a carefully constructed lie, a desperate attempt to cover up a crime. By this point, the search for a kidnapper was called off. Detectives made a grim announcement to the public. The case was no longer being treated as an abduction, but as a homicide investigation. Community members who had spent days searching fields, parks, and alleys were heartbroken. Volunteers who had hoped to bring a baby home safe now faced the terrifying possibility that Emmanuel would never be found alive. And yet, there was still no body, no crime scene, just a growing list of questions and a mountain of evidence pointing back at the very people who had asked for help. Behind closed doors, investigators were preparing for the next step, one that would shock not just Yucaipa, but the entire country. The news that baby Emmanuel's disappearance was now a homicide investigation hit Yucaipa like an earthquake, but nothing could have prepared the community for what happened next. Just days after calling 911 and pleading for her baby's safe return, Rebecca Renee Haro and her husband, Jake Mitchell Haro, were arrested. The charge: murder. As the parents sit in jail awaiting trial, prosecutors continue building their case. They are combing through digital evidence, medical reports, and witness testimony to prove that Emmanuel's death was no accident. Investigators have hinted that they have clues about where his body might be, But as of now, Emmanuel's remains still haven't been recovered. That fact haunts not just the investigators, but the entire community. Where is baby Emmanuel? Will he ever be laid to rest properly? Court hearings have been tense. In each appearance, the Haros maintain their innocence, staring straight ahead as prosecutors outline the horrific allegations against them. Family members have been seen breaking down in tears, divided over whether to support or condemn the accused parents. Meanwhile, the public's outrage has only grown louder. Child protection advocates are calling for changes to the system that allowed Emmanuel to remain in this home despite Jake Haro's prior conviction. "This baby should have been safe," one community member said during a vigil. "The system failed him." News coverage continues to stir debate. Should parents with a history of abuse lose custody of future children automatically? Could this tragedy have been prevented if earlier warning signs were taken seriously? And perhaps most chillingly, how many more children are living in dangerous situations right now, hidden behind closed doors? This case has become more than just a local tragedy. It is now a national conversation about child welfare, justice, and accountability. And as the trial approaches, the biggest question remains unanswered. What really happened to baby Emmanuel in those final hours? Was it a moment of panic? A tragic accident covered up in fear? Or was it a deliberate act of cruelty? The answers will come out in court, but until then, all we can do is wait. Do you think justice will be served in this case? Should the parents spend the rest of their lives in prison if convicted? And how do you think society should protect children in situations like this? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. And don't forget to subscribe so you can follow this case all the way to the verdict. Justice for baby Emmanuel is a story we can't turn away from.